Okay, so this is review for the question number 11 on the pre and post test for term 3. Number 11 will say identify the following interval. Options include second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, or an eighth, otherwise known as an octave. You don't need to specify major or minor or perfect or augmented or diminished, and if you don't know what any of that means, that's fine. Just don't even worry about it. So, to count this interval, you need to start at the space or the line on which the first note is covering. So this first note happens to be F. If you don't know that, that's okay. But you can see that the first note is sitting in, covering this space. So this is going to be 1. The line is 2, space is 3, 4, 5, 6. The answer to this question was a sixth. Once again, you have to slow your eyes down, and make sure to count the lines and spaces that the notes are covering. So and some kids even draw a little one or a dot to make sure that they are slowly counting every single step. So the first space where the note is 1. This line is 2, 3, line 4, space is 5, and the last note, the second note, 6, sits on the 6th line or space above this note. So the interval, the name of this interval is a sixth, because we counted 6 lines and spaces in between these two notes and including those two notes. If you need some more practice at this, here's a screen that might be helpful. All of these intervals start with middle C, and you can see that here's a second. The first note is on this ledger line, middle C, below the staff, 1, 2. The third, you always count the line, the bottom note. Don't forget to count this space in between. So this is 1, 2, 3. Line, space, line. That's 3 steps, the distance between. A fourth is 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it'll be easier if I pinpoint, and you can do this on your test. 1, line, space 2. The line is a third step. That space is 4. So this is a fourth. Over here at the top, we have our note on our line right here. As you can see, there's a little ledger line there. So that's 1. The space in between these two lines is the second step. Here's the third step. 4, 5. So this interval is a fifth. And then I'll do one more, a sixth. Here's that line, is right there. The space right there is 2. Third step, fourth step, fifth step, sixth step. So you kind of get the idea. Now, not all intervals are going to start obviously on middle C. So you're going to have to know just how to count intervals even when the bottom note's not on middle C. So for number 1, this is middle C. So you count, let me get my pen out again. We have 1, space is 2, line is 3, and that note is sitting on the 4th step up. So the answer here would be a fourth. Number 2, I'm going to grab my pen again. Here's our starting note, so that space is step 1. Line is 2, space 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I see there's a flat here, but that does nothing to the number. So even if there's a flat or a sharp, the notes are still 7 spots, 7 steps away from each other. So this is a 7th. And then let's do a couple more here. I'm looking at number 3. Starting on this line, 1, space is 2, 3, and that note sits on the 4th step up. Line, space, line, space. So the answer here is 4th. Remember, this sharp doesn't mean anything just yet. We're not worried about what that does. You just look at where the note is sitting on the line or the space. And then let's do one more here. I'll go back to my pen. We have starting space is a line, ending space, note is on a space, so 1, 2 lines and spaces are covered in that example. So this would be a second. Number 5 is a second, 1, 2. Number 6, count line space, or starting with a space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a seventh. Number 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, also a seventh. That sharp doesn't do anything to the number. This is still a seventh because there's 7 lines and spaces apart. Number 8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. Number 9 is a third, 1, 2, 3. And number 10 is a fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4,